So what are your blog site? You're tied to something more of the computer gaming?
Well, I have a YouTube channel. Any video games or anything that's dinosaur related, I'll usually jump straight on and cover that in extensive detail. I'll try to. Although being here, I feel like I'm at my depth. I got to be honest. Because I am joined with Jim Kirkland, and we are discussing the Utahraptor project, which is a huge rock which you can sort of see behind me there. And surely I'll put up clips as well of doing an overview of it and everything. But so I just wanted to sort of interview you and get your take on.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Basically, my view of this is a family of Utahraptors, maybe a couple families, trapped in quicksand.
Right.
Or trapped in a dewatering feature, which is quicksand to the rest of us.
There you go.
And are we seeing what a pack is? Because I would assume from what I've seen in this block so far.
Because that's what I was going to ask. What is the significance of this fossil right here, as opposed to any others that you could be found?
Well, when we look at Utahraptor, when I first discovered Utahraptor, and when I found the initial claw and premaxillas that form the front of this skull here, when I found these, this was in 1990. Dr. John Ostrom at Yale was helping me with, because he described an important animal from the early Cretaceous, Sauropelta. And one of the books he sent me on these animals included some pictures and a description of a thing called Deinonychus.
Right, yes, yeah.
John described Deinonychus and understood, what these claws on their feet meant, what kind of a creature these things were. He was the first one to identify the relationship between these animals and birds. I had showed him this claw, and immediately John, how big this would have been. I mean, just without even warning him, we're in a meeting, just pulls this out, it's this long. He just went for it. 6 months later, I was in California, and I'm passing this around. I got a giant dromaeosaur, twice as big as Deinonychus. Because when I was in the field, we first found this, I had John's book in the field with me.
Right.
And here's a picture of the claw of Deinonychus, and there's a scale, that's 1 to 1. I'm like, this is way bigger than Deinonychus' claw. Yeah, it's about that big. I bring this to LA, and I go to this potluck dinner for the Dinosaur Club. Artists, scientists, just the movie people, the eclectic dinosaur fan crew of Southern California over at Mary O'Donnell's house. And I pass this around, I got a giant dromaeosaur. And this guy pulls this thing out of his jacket and says, you got to take a look at this. And I'm looking, he says, what do you think? And I'm holding these together. I'm like, wow, these are about the same size. And I'm like, but, this isn't a fossil, is it? No, that's the giant Velociraptor claw that we're going to be using in the movie Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
That's while they were making the movie. 91, around then.
Okay,
so just starting the
production,
movie, seriously, and this is art. So as a scientist, it's like, well,
not real.
What does it really look like? And here's the claw of our state fossil Allosaurus.
Yeah, that thing's
And that's a
huge.
thumb claw. And I actually dug that claw up myself. But you look at that and you see how thick, that inner surface is compared to Utahraptor.
Which is quite thin.
It's really different. By looking at this and comparing it to modern animals, bears, eagles, we come up with a claw like this. So the ungual, the last bone in their fingers and toes, looks like this. That's what you get as a fossil. Nice groove for the blood vessel that supports the growth of the claw. Claw is closely pressed to it, and this is how we reconstruct the claw. From Utahraptor, obviously it'd be quite a bit different. So this is a conservative.
I was going to say, so that's like a smaller estimate of what it could have been.
We try to be conservative because we're scientists, stick in muds. So we're going to do good science, but if you're making a movie, you can make that considerably bigger, nastier. Another thing, could this thing have had growth lines on it that would have made pseudoserrations?
Right.
Growth lines in the keratin. No. But basically, when you look at the one from the movie Jurassic Park, and they even use the same claw in Jurassic World, very near the end they have this tapping,
Yeah.
And I see it, it's like, that's my claw. My claw, but I'm very affectionate to this thing. But you look at my Utahraptor reconstruction, how I think it would be, and my raptor is bigger than Spielberg's raptor. Sorry.
Well, there you go.
Funded us, so we treated you better. But we've been learning from this block a lot of exciting new things. You know, we've got a partial skull that came out here. We had a big rock fall as we were digging this site, long before we even knew we had Utahraptor in there.
Yeah.
You know, we knew we had a little theropod, I mean, you know, we have skeletons, but we didn't know what we had. And we come back one day and there's, you know, sofa, recliner chair, side rocks all over the site.
Yeah.
You know, and if we had been there, a dozen paleontologists killed in rockfall. I mean, and it broke a couple chunks out of the front of this block.
Oh, right.
And those chunks, Scott worked on these, preparing this stuff under a microscope, found some young jaws and things, but he found the brain case of this skull and the front of a jaw. The rest of this is going into the block, the lower jaw of the Utahraptor. And we had known about the front end of the upper jaws before, but here's the front end, and from this we can see things we've never seen on anybody else. Were they sensory, were they supporting like little whiskers? Sensory.
That would change the way they look.
Sensory things at the bottom of feather
Yeah.
structures for senses, or I tend to think it was probably some keratinaceous surface for this thing peeling the meat close to the bone. But we don't know.
Yeah, we don't.
know?
Yeah.
And one of the things we hope to do here before too long is take the real bone and put it under a micro CT scan and look at how the nerves going through the bone are actually plumbed. I'm a biostratigrapher.
Right.
I take the fossils and put them in a temporal context, and use fossils to put rocks into a temporal context. So I go both ways.
Right. Okay. Oh, that's good.
You've got to know enough about it to do that in a rigorous sort of way.
Yes.
Know what are characters, what are the features on this skull and this claw that make it unique. So this has given me the opportunity to name a lot of dinosaurs. I just took part in naming my 21st dinosaur.
Oh, congratulations.
So in the Jurassic extinction is probably bigger than we think. We just don't know a lot about it, and this stuff is also going to tell us about that.
Yeah, so that's what you're hoping to find answers in this
collateral
big-
damage.
Yes.
These are the oldest Cretaceous fossiliferous rocks, that were deposited on land, known in all of North America.
The one in the middle is actually a partial skull.
So it's more intact.
So it's more intact, but it's in the middle. How am I going to reach it?
How dare you die over there?
Yeah.
How long would you normally spend in an area like what you're working on right now?
Yes.
I move around a lot. I mean, so we moved this block in here in early 2015. It's like watching the grass grow sometime. I mean, it's so slow.
Yeah.
But then what gives me hope is that people who don't see it so often, they'll come in like 6 months later and go, oh, look at all the progress you've made, And it's like, it's not as bad as I think it is.
Yeah.
Affirmation that you're doing the right thing. Absolutely.
There's a classic right there. I mean, that's the end of the femur.
Yeah, just
So you're
sticking
looking-
out there.
Yeah, it's just looking like it died yesterday. It's really nicely preserved. The funny thing is, though, it ends right there, and there should be another 6 inches on there at least. Looking at the rest of this area here, you can just see it's just totally covered with bone. This is another maxilla, so another tooth-bearing element.
The things that Scott has prepared that have allowed us to study these amazing, extraordinary fossils.
Yeah. And he doesn't work for free, of course.
No, it'd be nice.
Unfortunately.
I mean, Scott has done tons of stuff for free for a lot of us in this profession, but the guy deserves to be paid.
Yeah.
And-
Oh, definitely.
and
Yes, of course.
And he's asking a lot less than if he was a commercial preparator that's doing it for the money.
Yeah.
Things that are going to be sold, and that stuff. Those guys charge.
That's true.
an
This
arm
is
and a leg.
this is discovery.
Yeah. This
This is
the
science. That's what this is.
He doesn't want to be insulted by it, but he's being extraordinarily fair.
Yeah. Which I will also put the link in the description below, where you can find the page to help donate to this amazing cause, and hopefully a new age of discovery for the Utahraptor as
Yep.
well.
I mean, basically, if anyone's interested in documentary film rights to this, we can talk to bigger sponsors for the project.
Yeah.
Probably new things in here that haven't been named yet. Right now we think it's mostly Utahraptors, but we see a little bit of lizard.
Yeah.
There should be other things in there. So potential naming rights could be part of the package. But we really, this. I've been doing this for 45 years on the Colorado Plateau, and this is by far, in my mind, the most significant fossil that I've ever pulled off a mountain. I think it's going to be dead and gone for years, and there'll still be new PhD students starting projects on this stuff that I can't even think of what the topics would be at this point. And that's exciting. This is a real legacy project for both Scott and myself. We realize this is the kind of thing that really does cap our careers.
Because I do a lot of games, like dinosaur games, I come across Utahraptors all the time.
Okay.
Now, I was wondering if I could get your opinion on a few that I've
talk about what I think would be the perfect way to do an animated Utahraptor.
Oh yes, I love that.
60-second. You want to give me a 60-second good animation? I could get this documentary sold.
So this is the first one. This is from ARC. This is a recent skin that they've sort of done. I was wondering, how close to that is it to a Utahraptor?
Well, obviously, they're putting the feathers on secondarily onto something that was already done.
Ooh, throwing shade.
That's what I would expect.
This
is what we've dealt with a lot of these things. It's like, okay, I've got this animal.
We're getting multiple.
I've got this animal constructed. Let's put some feathers on it. Let's give it a crest on its head. And as you've seen in the more recent reconstructions, these things are really heavily feathered. But so aren't eagles.
Would it be this amount of feathers or plumage, or would it be even more?
It'd be a lot more.
A lot more.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, these things are, they'd be totally feathered.
So they need to step up their game then. That's what they need to do.
The problem, the guy's doing this for the game.
Yeah.
Animating feathers or hair is pain in the backside. There's no doubt about it. So,
yeah, definitely.
Creating those textures and having them move in a life-size, lifelike manner is pretty costly.
Well, we've got another one. That one is more feathered.
Man.
That one is from Jurassic World, the game. Almost had like a Stars and Stripes thing going on.
Jurassic World?
Yes.
So this is underwritten or at least approved of by the movie?
This isn't in the movie though. This is just.
No, I know it's not in the movie, but they are approving of this?
Yes.
Because they don't put any feathers.
So as you go through, as you level up your dinosaur, level 40s are more, they're more colorful, they look a lot different, like Triceratops' horns coming all out of its crest.
Yeah.
So this one has like way more plumage and stuff on it. But I just wanted to get your opinion on that one, because it's
I've
more
seen a
feathered.
Carnotaurus that looks a lot like that. It's all blue, beautiful painting, total fantasy, because I think Carnotaurus actually had scales. But they've got a completely feathered, beautiful. It's a beautiful piece of art.
Yeah, but it's not true.
There's art and there's science.
You wanna 1v1 me?
So we got another one. That one is from Primal Carnage. It's called a Novaraptor, which is just their version of a Utahraptor, really. And that one's got like feathers all around.
They're putting a lot on, how far down they lay on the legs, because basically, the contour feathers on the body are going to be pretty tight to the body. It's not bad.
That's not too bad. Primal Carnage is doing pretty well. And the final one, there is no feathers on that one.
Yeah, that one's pretty skinny. And palms down. This is one of the biggest flaws of the movie. Drives me nuts, because having published on this, these guys cannot do that. You have to break their wrists to do that.
Oh, what, the claw
their
going?
hands face in or up.
Right.
The way they articulate, and having articulated the bones, you cannot make that happen without breaking bones.
Right, okay.
It's impossible. So like in the movie where they show them like this, no. And we found a squatting theropod from the early Jurassic, where it sits down and you can just see the hands are like that in front of it.
Right.
In the mud.
So it's like a grasping hand.
Yeah, they're grasping. They can't put them down. Maybe if they need to push themselves up, they could do it from the backside, but they could not turn it palm down.
They couldn't do that.
Impossible.
Okay. So this one's like really, you can see the influences from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if Dondi is watching this, he's like the head developer of the Isle. I think now it does have the right articulation for the hand. It's not like down like that.
Yeah,
so in case it's like, that's an old model.
Hands palms down just drives me nuts. And we've known this for, more than 2 decades, before we knew there were feathers.
Yes.
Yes.
But what
The eye.
I notice about all of these is, like, what I've just noticed now is that bottom jaw. It's sort of like the way it curves downwards, and none of these have that. It's sort of like the traditional.
Well, it doesn't so much curve down, it curves really more upward.
Upward.
Well, the top, the teeth go out,
Yeah.
but if you look at the bottom of the jaw, you've got that weird slope.
Yeah.
And it's so smooth and flat. I mean, it's, he makes a ridge along the side. I've never seen a jaw like that. Certainly not like Velociraptor's lower jaw.
That's something they need to change and add into all Utahraptor models in future.
Well, as I told Rob, he did this, which is generation 2. The mounted skeleton on exhibit out here is first generation.
Right, so even that's got
The new one is generation 2. And I've warned Rob, when we get the 4 limbs, we'll have a generation 3. So be prepared. I mean, we will learn more, and it's going to modify this animal as we learn this stuff.
Would people be scared of a big feathered dinosaur?
Well, this is the thing. Have you ever seen video footage of an eagle taking out, say, a pronghorn antelope? Oh, yeah.
Gotta find it.
Stuff that exists on eagles taking out some pretty big animals.
Yeah, and they have feathers.
And also the eagles, grabbing goats and dropping them off cliffs. That's pretty cool too,
I told you about that. They grab goats and drop them.
Yeah, they just grab them and take them off the cliff and just drop them off the cliff.
You told me that, and I was like, I don't really.
Yeah, it's something you can't picture an eagle doing
Right,
that.
kill them, then they go to grab them and eat them. But the whole thing, with my mind on these guys is picture, you're going through the jungle, the brush, and there's danger. You're an iguanodon or something. There's danger out there, and all of a sudden you hear some noise and you look into the brush, and all of a sudden this brown mound that fits in and camouflages in beautifully, all of a sudden comes at you and expands. As it expands, it lifts these things up towards you, and there are these wings of the arm. As the arms come over to grab you, as the arms do that, the flight feathers flare out. Under there are big eye spots.
Yeah.
These huge eye spots just flaring at you.
That's like, they sort of remind me of Dilophosaurus a bit.
Feathers on the chest come up, and all of a sudden it just turns red. So it's like you're looking at a face bigger than a T-Rex.
Yeah.
If this thing came at you doing that, it would be this big head coming at you. And at the same time, in the middle of that face, they're foot long to maybe foot and a half long, knives coming at you and going like this at you so fast you could barely see it. Think of picking up a cat you don't want to be picked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how fast these guys probably would be able to, sit there and just stab you. So you've got foot and a half long
I feel like I'm there.
coming out of this glass, stabbing you. You give me 30 seconds with a good animator.
I was going to say, that's what Jurassic
documentary
World Fallen Kingdom, there you go. We need that. I feel like it's like a Dilophosaur in that moment.
Just picture that.
Yeah. In Jurassic,
another one.
I have a plethora. Trust me. But this isn't the. I'm going to ask you some facts actually.
Oh, okay.
Because in Jurassic World, Jurassic World the game, when you level it up, like it is there, I have them too. When you level up a certain dinosaur, you get unlock a little fact about it. Of course, it's Utahraptor Facts.
Okay.
So I just want to run these by you and see if they're right or if they need correcting.
Okay.
So the first one is, did you know Utahraptor is the largest raptor to ever live? At 1,100 pounds, it weighs the same as a polar bear. Is that correct?
They could get that heavy.
They could.
But probably overall, even though they get as big as a polar bear, they're probably lighter because the Earth's breathing system that they have might make them a bit lighter.
The last one, though, it says, named by paleontologist Robert Bakker, the Utahraptor is the main character of his adventure novel, Raptor Red.
Raptor Red.
Yeah, Raptor Red. So is that
Bob,
true?
Dear Bob.
Is that...
No, it isn't. He's not even a co-author on the paper.
So
but Bob was sucking me dry the whole time I was working on it. He used to call me at least once a week, asking me about Utahraptor and the other animals I'm finding with it. Because he was working on Raptor Red. Initially, his contract for Raptor Red was to write a book where Tyrannosaurus Rex was the protagonist.
Right, okay.
When I discovered Utahraptor, he decided to be more interesting, to have a more intelligent dinosaur. Utahraptor as the protagonist. So he switched that, but he didn't tell me this.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
I had no clue he was working on this book. the whole time he was writing it, until Bantam Books sent me a pre-publication copy of it to read through.
So it's because of Raptor Red that people get the idea that it was him who named Utahraptor.
And there's an Earth, I think it was Earth or Discovery Magazine, one of the two. I think it was Earth Magazine, did an article on the fauna, a brief article that Bakker wrote.
Right.
And he actually says in that article that he named it.
Oh.
It says flat out that he named it in the article.
Ooh, get us a paleontologist beef here going.
Well, this is, you know, the facts are history.
Yeah, true.
It's
Yeah.
got the publication. I mean, it's like, you know, but Bob, when I was looking at naming it, I was thinking of naming it Utahraptor.
Oh, okay.
Terrible raptor. So Bakker's saying, you might name that after Utah. And I'm like, Utahraptor. And I just liked it. Brilliant.
Worked.
And
So do you think
it
that's...
got me my job.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I cannot deny that. You know, and some people say it's my good looks. I think it was named Utahraptor.
Obviously. Well, I put up a questionnaire, or asked the question on my YouTube channel. If you could ask a paleontologist any question, what would it be? So the first one I got would be, what inspired you to become a paleontologist?
Well, when I was about 5 years old, 1959, back in the olden days.
Fair before me.
My dad came home from a business trip and he brought me the Marx dinosaur set, the first set of dinosaurs. Had the big six in there. That set of dinosaurs, you know, I became the little geek kid in the neighborhood. Ask him about dinosaurs. You know, and back then, you only had a handful of animals. I mean, there might be like a dozen. They talk about some of the Judith River stuff. Oh, Styracosaurus, Centrosaurus, you know, Gorgosaurus. But, you know, the Morrison, the Jurassic dinosaurs, and the late Cretaceous, that was all there was.
And then from there, that kid named
and over
21.
100 of them were known from Utah.
Yes.
More than 10% of all dinosaurs named on planet Earth currently are Utah dinosaurs. More than 10%. I mean, some of them occur elsewhere too.
Oh, of course.
Allosaurus occurs in Portugal.
They can't just all come from Utah. They have to spread them about.
Over 10% are known from Utah.
I got this one as well. This is an interesting one. Since Jurassic Park 3, who would really win, T-Rex or Spinosaurus?
Oh, T-Rex.
Oh, there you go. That was easy.
I mean, Spinosaurus is a fish eater. It is. It's a fish. I mean, now crocodile eats fish too.
Yes.
But Spinosaurus, you know, the Spinosaurs in general adapted for eating fish. They were
Exactly,
big
yeah.
fish. T-Rex, I mean, the fact where they had the Spinosaurs grab T-Rex and like that.
Yeah.
It would have like broken its
Yeah,
own
that's
jaws.
what I thought as well. It was with stress testing with the skulls, it would just be a snap there as soon as it.
There's no way.
I mean, that one was a bioengineering project by InGen, but real Spinosaur.
Oh yeah. No, you know, they get. I mean, one thing. And I love Jack Horner. I've known Jack for 40 years, and you know, back when.
Did you say why?
But you know, it's like Jack will do whatever they tell him. You know, oh yeah, Jack, support this. You know, he knows who's buttering his bread. And he's got a lot more funding than I do. Maybe that's why there's no funding.
This could kill a T-Rex easy.
What? In the movie?
Yeah.
In the movie Jurassic Park.
Oh, right,
The
yeah.
Raptors jump on
At the
it,
very
you know,
end,
he's
yeah.
up on the neck of this thing, and they're running out of the building, and they cut away, and they're running out of the building. I always sit there and go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 15,
Right, yeah.
16 seconds.
Pass.
I will pace this. 15, 16, this thing is hanging on the neck of that
Yeah.
T-Rex. 15, 16 seconds. Now, if this is reality, this animal's kicking as fast as a cat would kick, with foot-long blades into the neck of that T-Rex.
It's going to hit a
That
artery.
neck would have been just shredded by the time they flip back into that scene.
And there would have been no more
And the
Rexy.
T-Rex would be laying there, bloody pulp, you know, and that would be the thing. If the T-Rex immediately grabbed it and threw it off.
Yeah.
You know, the T-Rex is a pretty strong animal, but the flexibility of the head to pull it back to where that thing was hanging, and the initial, I don't know if it could bend that far, you know, quite to do that. I think this thing would have, you know, in that position, I think this thing would have.
And especially if there was a pack.
Yeah, I think it would have laid it out. One of them would have laid it out, hanging on his neck.
But that wasn't a Utahraptor though.
Yeah, but they made it as big.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
But another question, probably my question, was T-Rex a scavenger? Because I know like Jack Horner really believes that T-Rex was solely a
as Jack says, it's a testable hypothesis.
Right.
That's what, anytime you get Jack with it, or someone like myself, Jim, it's a testable hypothesis. Because it's the only top predator for 3 million years in North America. Particularly if Nanotyrannus is a juvenile T-Rex.
Yes.
I mean, you have no other top predator. There's like 5 top predators in the Morrison. You've only got T-Rex, and we're not talking, it's just like the last 1,000 years of the Mesozoic.
Yeah.
The last 3 million years, it's the only.
It's a long time to just scavenge.
And you've got herds of duck-billed dinosaurs, herds of horned dinosaurs, pachycephalosaurs, all these animals out there. Well, evolution is all based around natural selection.
Yeah.
You cull the herd of the weak and the sick. These things are going to just develop genetic flaws within the population. If you got no top predator just to keep the standard culling of the herds, you're going to have totally genetic junk, in those herds. It just makes no sense, biologically.
Yeah.
And that's my answer. And of course, find something dead and eats it.
That was my
live on
thought.
Potato chips and hot dogs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I got another question. Do you believe that dinosaurs could have survived the KT event and actually died out a few thousand years later?
Well, if you're talking a few thousand years, it's not impossible. But, we know dinosaurs are successful today or more successful than ever.
Yeah.
Are more diverse.
Exactly,
than
yeah.
ever. So they're doing good. We can say this is still the age of dinosaurs, or this is the age of dinosaurs and mammals.
Yes. Well, I think that is going to have to wrap up the interview. Thank you so much, Jim, for allowing me to sort of live out my childhood fantasy of being in like a working lab and sort of seeing all this stuff. Like the actual stuff that goes like behind the museum and all that. And hopefully we can raise.
Go through the exhibit. This is one of the biggest dinosaur exhibits.
Yes, I know. I really want to.
There's like 54 mounted skeletons.
That's definitely what I'm going to do next.
Repeat again where we are, so that people know the name of the museum and stuff.
Right.
It is.
This Thanksgiving.
This is the North American Museum of Ancient Life at Thanksgiving Point.
It's not officially, it's not North American.
Anymore?
Museum of Ancient Life. Museum of Ancient Life. So you too can come to the Museum of Ancient Life and see the Utahraptor at Thanksgiving Point and see the Utahraptor project underway. You don't think you'll be able to come in here though?
No.
But you can look.
Yes, everything's on display.
There are video cameras tied to the microscopes.
So that's got to wrap it up and see you later. So hello, I'm just sort of doing like a little wrap up after the interview I've just done with Jim. Super nice guy. I mean, you can see right there how passionate he is. And I'm doing this because I really don't feel like I homed in enough on the GoFundMe, which is how this is all like funded through that. And it's something that they really do need to keep the project going. And they're going to learn so much from this. So much about like Utahraptors, how they existed, and even like the growth. And there's going to be so much that's going to come from this, and it's all going to be needed through the funding. So if you do want to support it, that's great. Even just sharing the word. Like I wanted to do this or make this video because I wanted to spread the word of the great cause that they're doing. Also, a big thanks to John, who's standing over there. Go on, you see him? See it? That's John. That's John. He's helped like sort this all out, which is so a big thanks to him for doing that. And it's been great. It's been like meeting a paleontologist and doing an interview. I feel like a real YouTuber. If you want to help spread the word, do like the links will be down in the description below. GoFundMe, Twitter and Facebooks, all that. And maybe even on screen. I don't know. And if you enjoyed it, leave a like and thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I'm gonna get in the car because it's freezing. Bye.
When it gets down to like the last level, to leave some of it intact for exhibit in the future. But I think I'll be dead and gone by then, so I'm not going to worry about that too much.
Cheery.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Got to be realistic. My job, as the PI, is to try to do everything I can to ensure that this thing has its best passage into the future in perpetuity that's possible. Because when I'm dead and gone, I still have an ethical responsibility to make sure this thing is being cared for the way it deserves.
Absolutely.
It's a legacy in a way.
Yeah, oh, it is. It's a legacy specimen. I mean, you know, I've been doing this for 45 years. Scott has as well. This, to me, is the most important individual block I've ever pulled off of mine, you know, by far.
Yeah.
You know, but we want to learn as much as we can right now.
Yeah.